In this video, I'm marking 50,000 subscribers, which is amazing. And I've come to the Jaguar Land Rover Classic Works. They've given me free rein. I can pick any vehicle out of this collection to drive. So what do you think I drove? Forward Control 101, baby. Oh yes. I mean, to be honest, choosing just one vehicle is not particularly easy when you've got so many to choose from. Some amazing vehicles. That's the very last Defender there on a HUE plate to match the other Huey, which is the first Land Rover. There's a Range Rover Velar up there, Discovery. Not sure that's got any particular significance other than being a very nice Series 110 here. It's amazing. But this is the vehicle I'm focusing on. And yes, that is a Michelotti XK140 up there. It's been seen at quite a few shows, including the Goodwood Revival. But nonetheless, I'm here to look at a vehicle that comes with a spade. So, Land Rover 101, it was built by Land Rover, designed for the military to tow a gun, basically. It's often called a gun tractor. They're forward control, so you sit on top of the front wheels, and permanent four-wheel drive. So it's got the permanent four-wheel drive system of a Range Rover, but it still has good old leaf springs. Not many leaves though. Look, we've only got 2 leaves. Which is quite remarkable. So there's the front diff. We can have a crawl underneath and look at everything really, because it's also accessible. There is the massive transmission. It's the same 4-speed gearbox as used in the Range Rover. It's got the drum on the back, and that's where the handbrake is. And there's the prop shaft going to the rear axle. So dual range, high and low range, but 4-wheel drive and a lockable diff lock, I would guess. One detail I particularly love is I always wondered what this was for. And what it's for is that's your step to get up into the cab. So that's a fantastic touch. But they were built in the 1970s, and I think they built 2,669 of them off the top of my head. They've got the 3.5 litre V8 engine from the Range Rover, slightly detuned, and yeah, just amazing styling. Just so functional, so square. Naturally, I quite like the windscreen wipers. Look at the angle, and such dainty little blades on such a big screen. Wonderful. Oh, there we go. Land Rover and Land Rover Heritage. This is one of the Heritage vehicles. Apparently this was a reference vehicle kept by Land Rover. It has never left Land Rover's ownership. Most of them were GS, General Service, I think that stood for. So you get a canvas tilt on the back. So, you know, very good for carrying troops if you had benches down each side. But primarily, NATO hitch here, it was intended to tow the big old guns. Some had ambulance bodies and all sorts, but many of them covered very few miles. Some saw action in the Gulf War. But I'm not really here to talk about war, so we won't focus on that. We open the door. I've never opened the door on a 101. Look at this. Wow. Nice simple steering column just sprouting up from the floor. We've got all sorts of controls for things. Infrared. Wow. Yeah, there's the speedometer, 5,800 miles. We've got the brake master cylinder, and what if that's a clutch as well. Right next to the dashboard, so you can carry out brake services while you're driving along. A gear lever sprouts out here. So of course that's the engine under here. The gearbox is considerably further back. Have to look what's in here. I would guess dipstick. Oh, ah, no, it's actually the rad cap. And where did that little thumb screw go? Maybe the next one back is the dipstick, but that needs a screwdriver to open by the look of it. I'll just quickly put that. Look, there's knobs and levers everywhere. Choke control there, heater blower, all mod cons. I wonder if that's the diff lock. It could well be. There's even a tap down there for the heater, and the spare wheel is just bolted straight behind the seat. And very simple little seats they are too. Remind me very much of a Citroen H-Van. Very similar in that you sit above the front wheel. I'm going to see if I can make a glamorous entrance here for a better look inside. Oh, it's so high up. And there we go. Sitting on my cables, but yeah, extra gauges, amperes, because a lot of these were kitted out for radio as well. I have no idea what this big thing is. We've got a window there to, in theory, reduce the blind spots, but that's not going to do a very good job, I don't think. But wow, yeah, usual British Leyland column stalk, and there's the wiper and the washer, all in one unit. That's single speed on the wipers apparently. We will test those. It will be raining, so they're going to get a good test. But yeah, wow, it feels like I'm on top of the world up here. Oh, right, I don't think we can see an awful lot of the engine, so I'm not going to be able to show you very much of that. It is all under this big tin. It is a V8 3.5 litre engine. It is going to sound absolutely magnificent. Let's see if I can get out without killing myself. Success. But there you go, big old radiator tucked away somewhere at the front, behind this grille. I mean, just a proper metal grille, so you could take that off and use it for a barbecue. Wonder if this is a starting handle. But yeah, absolutely immaculate. So that's probably the best view you're going to get of the V8 engine today. But I promise you, it's more about the noise, really. Nice to see a nice chunky anti-roll bar going on, and a stabiliser there to stop the steering kicking back. But yeah, absolutely fascinating vehicle. And now we're going to take it for a drive. I must delay my enjoyment because my friend Neil, who works here, needs to drive the vehicle out first of all. Oh, who's left the wipers on, I wonder? Oops, that might have been me. Look at that, she starts well. No power steering, it's all manual. Oh my. Oh, this is going to be a very lovely day. Let's go. Here we go. Strange driving position, it's very cramped. And the seatbelt's terrible, static belts as well. Whoa, there we go, huge gear lever. Oh, the steering is wonderfully vague. I'm going to assume we're going left at this point. We're in third gear, barely moving, but that's fine. It's there somewhere, there we go. Yep, this steering, you have to pay attention. But we are barreling down the road at almost 60 kilometers an hour. It's quite noisy, but it's okay. I can keep an eye on my fluid levels quite easily. Can't do that in most cars. Try doing that in a brand new Range Rover. Oh, bouncy as well apparently. It's alright, we've got mirrors, we've got the canvas trying to fall off at the back, but that's all good. I would say right here maybe? Straight on, straight on. Says my silent assistant. God, my legs are so cramped. Unleash the power. yeah, the ride is definitely not the most refined aspect. In fact, nothing is very refined. The engine sounds nice though. We're up to 70, which I think is about 45. It feels faster. Feels like it's trying to steer in two directions at once. Very series Land Rover. But talk about a commanding driving position. Range Rovers have got nothing on this. It's like driving a truck. Right, I'm going to attempt to use the wipers. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, screen wash isn't coming through. Oh, nice little wipers. I'm sure it'll rain at some point. We'll get to use them properly. Let's go for 80. Kilometers an hour, that's about 50. I'd say it's not really geared for an awful lot more. I suppose at some point I should probably try the brakes. Oh yeah, they do work. Yeah, this is definitely unlike any Land Rover I've ever driven. Sadly, the engine has been drowned out by wind noise, tyre noise, transmission noise, other exciting noises. It definitely feels alive. Gosh, I've never felt so out of control in something that I am actually in control of. Possibly excluding an Austin 7. Turn the wheel, turn the wheel. This is brilliant. Gosh, the army lads used to have some fun. When it was stuff like this and Elvis Stalwarts. They had Rolls-Royce straight 8 engines. Beautiful countryside. Could do with finding a green lane really, but Jaguar Land Rover probably don't want me to go off-roading in it. I doubt this has ever been off-road. Oh, so bouncy. So they started decommissioning these vehicles in the mid-90s, I think. So a lot of these came out of army service, often not with very much in the way of mileage on them. So there are quite a lot still preserved in civilian use, which is nice. And an interesting aside is 31 of them became extras in the film Judge Dredd with all manner of crazy bodywork. And tomorrow, I'm hoping to take a look at one. This doesn't feel like Hollywood at the moment, I must say. The heater's good though, I'm warming up. Possibly because I've got a V8 engine right next to me. Cattle grid scaring the absolute bejesus out of me. Right, we're at Burton Dassett Country Park. There is no need to do this at all, but I think I'm going to try and put it in low range if it will take it. I think she will, so we won't need first. We'll start off in first just to show you how low first gear is. Make sure we're clear. Shouldn't need any throttle. And there we go, that's clutch fully up in first gear. I would say that's quite slow. Yeah, we might need high range after all. This is the slowest test of a forward control Land Rover ever. Let's go for second. Oh yeah, there we go. Now we're flying along. So you'd use your low range, especially if you were towing your heavy guns over tricky terrain. It just yeah, helps keep you moving if you're going nice and slowly, so you're not having to slip the clutch. Gonna go for low third. Oh, I'm flying along now. So that feels more equivalent to high ratio first. This is the closest we're going to get to off-roading today, although that's tempting, but I won't. But I have been corrected, this vehicle has been used off-road. There used to be a Land Rover Experience where you could drive some of the older vehicles and presumably some of the newer ones off-road. And this was one of them that you could drive. Perhaps it's even had its diff lock used, which I think is this control here. I don't intend to use that, we don't need the diff lock on dry tarmac. There we go, climbing up to the top of Burton Dasser. In fourth gear at 20 kilometers an hour. Right, we'll get out for a quick walk around. First of all, we've got to unlatch the door there. Oh, yeah. Thanks for the warning. Fortunately, we have got a check strap. Get my foot on the rest, and down I go. And yeah, I've come here mostly just because, frankly, it looks a bit better in the mud. I think it somehow suits it all the more. And there is Neil, my assistant for the day. And a very useful spotter because the view out is terrible. They were designed with this window to try and act to remove your blind spot, but sadly with age it's delaminated somewhat. And fuel cap where you can put a lock on, it's all good. But yeah, what a stunning location. This, oh, wind's catching my gimbal. This feels very appropriate. This is how to get in. Great success. Now I've got some bonus content for you here because I've come to Hallam Brothers in Hayfield in the Peak District. Because as I mentioned in the video, there were some film stars, and there is one right here. This is one of the Judge Dredd film cars from the film. So let's take a look around. So here we go. Under this remarkable looking body is a forward control Land Rover on the 101-inch wheelbase. So under the skin, this is exactly the same as the vehicle I was driving. It's quite hard to believe. We've got these fiberglass extensions on the wheels to make them look chunkier, and this remarkable body which was designed by Land Rover. The in-house design team came up with this design, and the film company loved it. It looked absolutely spot on, and what I love is it's clearly inspired Land Rover designs of the present day. The Range Rover Evoque you can see replicated in, well, the Range Rover front end generally you can see replicated in the windscreen design, and I think the general chunkiness, it certainly brings to mind the Discovery 3 and 4, and here we are around the back of it. And in the film, this is all distressed bodywork because of it. It's not a V8 turbo. These were taxis in this sort of post-apocalyptic world that Judge Dredd was trying to bring order to. So all the film cars are based on these Land Rovers. It's got the basic scuttle assembly, no doors, windscreen taken off, all the rear bodywork taken off, and then this glass fibre body attached. And they are quite extraordinary. So we've got a V8 engine. This one's even right-hand drive, which is fairly rare. But yeah, under the futuristic body, leaf springs. We're now going to take a look inside. I've never been inside one, so let's go and have a look. We require a ladder for this, although I think there is an access hatch underneath. So shall we see if we can find that? It might be a safer way in. There we go, we can just clamber in underneath. Oh, here we are, behind the scenes. And of course it's all simple stuff in here because what's inside doesn't matter. This is all going to be covered up. Interesting snorkel assembly going on here. Here is the V8 engine that we couldn't see in the one we looked at yesterday. And you can also see the remarkable gear lever. It comes all the way back to here. No wonder there was so much travel in it. So quite remarkable. And yeah, you can clearly see the fact it's made out of fiberglass in here. And here is the driving position. So the scuttle panel, this panel here, that's all standard Land Rover 101. And yes, a rare right-hand drive. I like this. Do not force into reverse. You have to give them a bit of a wallop to get into reverse, as you may have noticed yesterday. If I went into reverse on camera, I can't remember, because the levers do move around a lot. So reverse is over here somewhere. I think that might be reverse. And that's first. And here we go, operating the gear lever in a Hollywood car. And an interesting view out through the tiny windscreen. But yeah, quite remarkable. And there is an access panel on top as well. What does that say? Not stand on this, no standing on this panel. There we go. And there we go, on top of the Judge Dredd Land Rover. Do I look suitably menacing? There's a pretty strong chance I've seen this vehicle before because I went to Solihull College, which is pretty close to the Land Rover works. And we once went with my friends round the back, Elmdon Park I think it is, and there's a fence along the factory border, and all 31 of these Land Rovers were parked in a line around what was the high-speed test track at Lode Lane, the Land Rover factory. And I remember being there with my mates just going, this is amazing. But after the filming, most of them were broken up and returned to normal forward control looks and just rebuilt as standard Land Rovers. And it's interesting to think, if you see a forward control Land Rover at a show, there's got to be a part of you thinking, could it have been a film star in a previous life? There's still a handful of these surviving. A couple have even been made road legal. Interestingly, for the premiere of the film in London, they decided to make a couple of these roadworthy. It was Dunsfold Land Rover, I think. Also have the Dunsfold Land Rover collection, a place I really must visit. And to get these road legal was a challenge because you see it's only got one headlamp. So they had to fit another headlamp on this side, and then there are no windscreen wipers. And their solution was to make these panels easily removable, because if you take them out, you don't need windscreen wipers. It's a fun fact for you. If you have an opening windscreen, you don't need windscreen wipers. Very bizarre. But I have seen pictures of one which has got little wipers fitted. Yeah, there are a couple now in roadworthy condition. And the good news is, if you fancied buying this and making it roadworthy, that is possible. The asking price is £25,000 for a slice of, you know, Hollywood history, really, which isn't bad at all. And let's not forget, it's got a V8 engine, mid-mounted. That's cool. So yeah, if you're interested in this remarkable vehicle, then yeah, come up to Hallam Brothers here in Derbyshire, because they like Land Rovers, I think it's fair to say. But if we look, especially at the Discoveries over there, the Discovery Sports, you can see the styling link straight away. So this is typical of the sort of vehicles they have for sale here. And it's incredible to think that actual production cars have styling cues developed from this film star. So there you go, that was just a bit of bonus footage about this remarkable vehicle. Oh, that was brilliant. So yeah, we've come to Burton Dasset up here on top of the world with the big nipple in the background and the amazing views across Warwickshire. And yeah, that was amazing fun in the Land Rover Forward Control 101. Isn't it just a fabulous looking thing? We do seem to have drunk rather a lot of fuel. It seems to have got through half a tank, and we haven't really been that far, but it's been a lot of fun. The steering is very low geared, so you have to turn the wheel so hard. It's all very, very agricultural, but hilarious. And once you're bimbling along at 50, it's actually quite amusing. I would love to put it through its paces on a proper off-road session, but sadly that isn't going to happen today. This muddy car park is as close as we're going to get. But yeah, I shall say thank you very much if you're already a subscriber, one of the 50,000. It's just incredible. That's a lot of people. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video and all the others. Don't forget, you can still hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. You can go to the Hubnut store for all the goodies at hubnut.org and support us on Patreon at patreon.com/hubnut. But I shall say thank you ever so much for watching and subscribing, and I shall see you in a future video. Farewell. Couldn't end this video without saying a big thank you to Jaguar Land Rover Classic, the Classic Works here Wrighton-upon-Dunsmore in Coventry. Yeah, I've got Land Rover meeting City Rover. The City Rover has a Tata link. Tata owns Jaguar Land Rover. It's the circle of life in car form. I might call my car Simba. But yeah, very, very grateful to the people at Jaguar Land Rover Classic. You can come on tours here. I will include a link in the description below. It's a fascinating place. I've got a separate video having a bit of a nose around, which you can check on one of these sites. I will put a link up to that as well. But yeah, thank you very much.